Paranormal Karen, she's so spooky. Paranormal Karen, funny too. Paranormal Karen, she's so spooky. Oh, and did I mention she's funny too? Yeah, cha-cha-cha.
Hey everybody, it's me and welcome to the halfway through the year predictions episode. Everybody liked the New Year's one so much that I thought I would put together another one halfway through. And as usual, it has not disappointed. It is very interesting, the things that cross over and the things that are different from all the people I interviewed. I think I have mostly everybody from last time. If I missed someone, I apologize. I sent out an email and I think I heard from those people. So I want to jump right in because this will be another long episode, but I want to remind you guys, I'm so excited because I added another level to my Patreon. There is a $5 level that is going to be only Paranormal Karen episodes. It's going to be 1 to 2 a month. Hopefully it's 2. I have overdone my work schedule and I'm trying to find a way to kind of condense my work so I can do a little fewer readings. I do about 20 to 25 readings a week and I want to get that number down just to give my brain a rest. So I'm building up the Patreon. I'm doing episodes. Most of them are going to be just me. Some of them will be guests, but I'm super excited about my series, What's Going On in Utica, where I talk about all the crazy things you can't believe. You'll hear it on the ad or you heard it last week. I already have 12 episode topics of all the nutty stuff. Some of it's going to be true crime, but check that out. $5 a month for just a little more Paranormal Karen, and then you can have the card of the day or the other stuff too if you're interested in tarot and psychic development. But anyways, let's get started. You'll hear my predictions at the end. Here we go. Hey everybody, Andrea Land is here, and you, Andrea, you are in my phone book as Andrea Schumann Resonance Land. That is your middle name in my phone book because you do such great, you did a great podcast for us on this. And I also want to say you're now on TikTok and I love it. I love your Instagram, but I just saw your TikTok last night and I got to see your beautiful face and you had the Schumann Resonance up behind you and it was amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I am thrilled that it resonates with you and others. And thank you very much for mentioning it. I truly, as I've been studying this, I know what an impact the Schumann resonance and the solar weather has on everyone. And the more I speak on it and teach others about it, the more it seems to help everybody.
Yes, and it's a weird thing that's out of control. So tell people before we start where they find you or your TikTok or your Instagram.
You can find me everywhere at Grooving Goddess. That's GROOVING, and Goddess with 2 D's and 2 S's. And my link tree has all my booking information and merch and all that good stuff as well.
Yes, I always say groove in, but it's Grooving Goddess.
Yes, it's grooving. Yeah, you called me groovy last time, which I loved.
That's not bad. It's not a bad mistake. But we have to get technology does not. You have to spell it right for technology. Okay, so I'm going to start the clock, and this is, tell us what you see the second half, July 1st on for 2022.
All right. So what I did this time, I did something a little differently. I didn't pull cards. I did go back and look at what I said in December about the year. And so far, it is playing out the way I thought it would. And I just wanted to throw out there the thing about you and I predicted volcano, you predicted tsunami, and we were both right. And I don't know about you, but when that happened right at the beginning of the year, I thought, holy crap.
You and I did get a bunch of emails from people because you and I and then Betty White and the whole thing, people were like, it's already, that's why I got an idea to do 6 months because everybody's like, it's already happening.
It is already happening. And so the good news of that is the one card, the one that was like the potential outcome for this year and for humanity, it showed the war-torn dystopian on one half of the card, the left side, and then on the other side was an artist painting away that and creating a new beautiful world. And so what I see as happening and what I've noticed from my clients, listeners, feedback, all of those people is that many people who were already awake who have been doing the work and kind of on the path, whether personally or publicly, however they're doing it, they are all stepping into that co-creation power, that instant manifestation. And sometimes it'll show up for you as something simple, like you look at a mall and you say to yourself, I wish there was a donut shop there. And then you go back a week later and suddenly there's a donut shop. So we need to be aware that our words are powerful. Our words really are spells. And those of us who become aware of these synchronicities and things have the ability to reshape what is happening. So instead of pulling cards, I had a meditation and I talked to Gaia. And she gave me a very interesting message. And so that is what I'm going to tell everybody, which is that expansion of consciousness, expansion is universal. We are not the center of the universe, not even the center of the solar system. And it is an immature, self-centered continuation of imperialism and colonialism, which allows us to stay unaccountable and disempowered and waiting for a savior. I said at the time, and you loved this quote in December, whoever owns your time owns your mind. Who change your time and you change your mind and you change the world. So 6 months later, I feel that this really highlights how many people are coming online with these upgrades of this ability to create. And we are the artists. And it doesn't mean that you have to be creating paintings or being a performer or anything, just your daydreams of a better world. Those things are powerful. Along with that, I would say part of what we are being tasked to do is thrive through collaboration and migration. Gaia showed me that all of this planetary upheaval, it is part of a natural 1,000-year, 10,000-year, and million-year cycle of Earth and the sun and the solar system, and it's all coming to an apex right now. So that's why things seem so out of control. We need to release our shame and guilt over industrialism and the belief that we have caused everything that is happening, because that keeps us feeling powerless and not doing anything about it because we don't want to look at it. But if we accept that this is a natural cycle of the earth and remember that our ancestors have been on this planet, they've proven now for, I think we're up to 4 million years of evidence of humanoid existence on this planet. And we have survived. What she showed me was all of the different phases of humanity and how the planet has been doing this shifting of land masses and oceans and coastlines and all of that for this entire time. And humanity always survives because they collaborate and they migrate. They move away from the areas which are not the best place to live and go where they can thrive together. So that is really what we're being tasked to do. But along with the material means of thriving, part of that is tackling our social issues and the polarizations, which is why you're seeing so much chaos right now.
Yeah.
So I pulled a card that is the Tree of Life, and I got to thinking about growth and the Tree of Life, and we are the Tree of Life. And when I talked about humanity being initiated into being the ultimate spiritual warrior this year, that is happening now. And part of what is happening to humanity and what Gaia showed me is that we are moving from an adolescent state as a species into an adult state, an adult phase of humanity. Our evolution is pushing us towards that. Now, what happens in adolescence? Tremendous amounts of turbulence. Even the most stable teenager in the world still has identity crises and feels all over the place, and their brain is being rewired. So that is part of our task right now. And the other card that I pulled from the Rebel deck, because it's very direct like me, and it was so funny what came up, because it says that project, that person, that idea is waiting. Get after that shit. The world has your back.
Yes.
So it is time for you to do whatever the thing is that you wanted to be doing. I had talked about how a lot of people were going to be going into social healing arts, intuitive arts, all of those things. And that has been happening en masse. Lots of people are waking up.
Mhm.
You're going to notice more and more people in your everyday life that you thought were super, 3D, never going to really open up in that way, want to talk to you about things. And back to the who owns your time owns your mind. More and more people are making boundaries with social media, with the
Yes.
internet, with the news, and pulling away and interacting more in real life. And this is our opportunity to change our minds so we can change the world.
I love that. I love that. Okay. So, in the next couple minutes, can I paraphrase maybe what Gaia said? Is she, so it is going to be weird. It is going to, the way I'm a little worried about hurricanes on the East Coast, like being bigger than ever.
I'm glad you mentioned hurricanes because I meant to bring that up as well. So, very important for the rest of this year. I know you get tired of hearing it, and I will put up a special link on my link tree with a website or a spreadsheet with some links of resources about emergency preparedness. Because of these global changes and the planetary changes that are happening, the solar activity and the currents, yes, this hurricane season is going to be a shit show. And they're predicting that it's going to be like the season with Katrina.
Mm.
And they have added a category. They've added category 6 because category
No.
5 wasn't big enough anymore.
Wait, the weather people added a category 6?
Yes, the National Weather Service and the world at large has added category 6 because hurricanes are so much more powerful now that category 5 was no longer big enough. So that
Wow.
is why I'm telling you, it is very important wherever you live to be prepared for whatever emergencies might unfold. If you're in the West, that is fires, that is rolling
Earthquakes.
blackouts from heat waves, the hurricanes, all of those things. And part of what is happening is because the currents are changing and things are shifting, you could get a land hurricane, you could get a firestorm in some place you wouldn't expect it. So it's really important to be as self-sufficient for emergency needs as possible.
Fantastic. And Andrea, tell everyone, there's like a minute left. Tell everyone, if you report on the Schumann resonance, which I think is a really good way for people to know internally, why am I panicked today? Why am I not sleeping?
Mm-hmm.
Am I correct? Tell everybody where they can find you doing that, because I loved it on TikTok. Grooving
yes.
Goddess.
Well, thank you so much. I do them on TikTok at Grooving Goddess, and then I also do it in my Patreon, of course. And I put it on Instagram. I put it on Facebook. I put it everywhere these days because even what some people would call muggles are starting to notice, holy crap, this really does affect me. And it's almost like a gateway into awakening if you look at it that way. The other thing that I've been having is a lot more people coming to me for consciousness anchorings and also a lot more men, which I am loving because they are expanding their consciousness more, and we need everybody.
You are the second person to mention men, which not only do I agree with, but I think they are... you agree with me. The patriarchy wasn't their fault. We were all in agreement, but I think it could be men that end it.
Yes, exactly. These men that I've been working with, what I have come to the conclusion of is that because of their programming and conditioning to always think and never feel, it locked them away from their intuition. And so we have kind of, raked them over the coals of late. And if we want them to expand their consciousness and be more in touch with their intuition, and we want to live in a more egalitarian, less patriarchal society, they have to be able to open up, and women are the ones to get them there because we had an advantage in that because we were encouraged to feel and not think.
Yep. And men have been telling me things, and I even mean comics have been telling me things that they think it's not okay to say. It was very interesting. I had a very interesting conversation with two comics because we were talking about the Tinder swindler. And I immediately was like, first of all, I don't know where those women are getting that money. I don't know where I would come up with $200,000 to give to a man. I don't have that.
No, my gosh, right?
But, yes. And then I thought, but men do that. That's been since the beginning of time with men that were expected to pay for women. And these two guys turned around and it was kind of like, oh, it's okay to talk to her. And they were like, yeah, men just can't say that. They're so embarrassed. And I was like, I get it. And then they said, one of them said, men really want one woman. A lot of us just want one wife to come home to be our friend, to be in love with. We're not these dogs that everyone wants to think we are. And he said, it's just not a popular stereotype, and you get made fun of if you say that. And I thought that's very telling. And I think that's just the softer, the better, the female side in a male. I'm good for you. Keep going, guys.
Me too. And so it's really made my heart very happy to be able to assist in this way. And it's interesting, Karen, because when I do the consciousness anchorings with them, it's a different experience. It's like they literally are encased in these eggshells that need to be broken open in order for them to have access.
Yes. And for men and women, please go date and go have fun. Before you're ready to settle down. I sort of was like making these men are good and these men are bad. And I didn't mean that at all. It's just, let's all just be who we are.
Exactly. We need to hold space and have grace for each other and start to recognize, the reason she, let's say, is being codependent and weirdly toxic is because she was conditioned to survive that way. And the reason he is being, maybe avoidant or aloof or cold is because he was conditioned to be that way.
And we're going to change it all.
We're going to change it all. So go be the artist. Change your time. Change your mind.
I love that. World. Oh my God. Yours and my predictions are going to be right on top of each other. The grooving goddess. Andrea, thank you so much.
Thank you, my love. I love you so much. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
I love you too, darling. Have a great day. Hey everybody, I wanted to tell you about the $5 level I added to my Patreon. Starting in July, I'm going to be doing exclusive Paranormal Karen content there. It's going to be 1 to 2 episodes a month. It'll be a little different than here. Most of the episodes will be me talking about what I'm looking into or what I'm investigating or what is fascinating to me. I'm also going to be doing a series called What's Going On in Utica. When I moved here, I had no idea what a paranormal hotspot this was. People started telling me about the hauntings in their homes, and I was shocked. I have never heard stories like this, and I've been doing this about 30 years. Historically, this area is fascinating, with everything from the Underground Railroad to horrible Civil War battles to even the mob moving in at one point. And I'm also going to be covering a lot of true crime out here. I have never done that, but the stories out here, the unsolved murders, are so crazy. This place makes Los Angeles look like a kid's playground. So go to Patreon.com/Rontowski and you can sign up for the $5 Paranormal Karen level, or you can sign up for some extra tarot stuff while you're there. All right, back to the show. Angela Lovell, my text buddy from Florida.
No. Just in Florida.
In Florida.
Anybody.
You and I always have that little temporary mark on where we live, but we're kind of like, why can't we get out of where we are? But we're figuring it out. Nope. We're making do, right? And Angela knocked it out of the park, scared a bunch of people on New Year's, when she was like, literally people, like when it downloaded, people took it and you were like, yeah, I think we're losing Betty White. And then they turned it off and turned on the news and Betty White was gone. And everybody was like, oh my God. And not even knowing that you predicted that probably a month earlier. Like you were, I taped so far ahead. But all right, my darling, tell me, what have the spirits told you? I will start the timer.
Well, they did show me a fun celebrity thing that I don't know, kind of made me as sad as Betty White. I'll get to that in a second. But the biggest news, I did a thing. And this is just like a fun hot tip for anybody who likes to get downloads. Sorry, I'm also having allergies in Florida. I always do a salt bath. Like I do a salt bath with the full moon. I do a salt bath with the new moon. I take notes and I put on shamanic drumming. And I just say, show me what I most need to know. And sometimes I get messages for clients. Like I get messages for Ryan Singer. Like I get all kinds of stuff. And this is what I did last night. And I've been in a weird place post-eclipse. A lot of us have.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to get out of the bathtub because what they showed me scared me so much.
Oh, and by the way, this is airing July 1st. I should have told you that. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, July 1st? Okay, good. Well, good. We'll all be better then.
Good.
So I'm like, why do I even get out of bed right now? But I did see, this is the biggest one. The oceans. There is so much going on under the water, don't go in the ocean, don't go near the ocean, especially don't eat things from the ocean. They have information that they're keeping from us, of course. What my guides kept showing me, lots of orange fish, lots of orange measuring devices. And it was like, be pragmatic. Most of us already know to not eat the microplastics, the radiation, the mercury, the pollution. There is not food in the ocean for us anymore. We have destroyed it. It is no longer a source. The factory farming fish, or whatever, the fish farms, wherever those are filthy and disgusting. We don't get to eat these fish anymore. Everybody needs to switch to Udo's omega 369 oil. It's nature. It's evening primrose, it's sunflower oil. It's all these things that people think they can only get from fish. You're done with fish now, you guys. Trust me. The fish are poison.
I was really always kind of done with fish. Fish is not my thing ever. Like,
food shouldn't smell like that. It smells so bad.
It's the only food that what does Jim Gaffigan say? It's the only food that it's like smells bad when it smells like what it's supposed to smell like. This fish is kind of fishy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, they showed me more. So we start getting into the ocean. This was like, oh God, this is where I got really scared. I saw an astronaut and I was like, oh, cool. What space thing? No, they were under the water in the ocean. And I have made this joke before, but it's real. We have aliens in our oceans. We have a lot of aliens in the ocean. And they showed it to me. And they also showed me prehistoric massive fish things in the ocean. And then a bunch of dolphins were laughing at me. And you guys, dolphins know everything. Dolphins don't just know what's going on in the ocean. Dolphins are not of this world. I feel like the aliens.
Octopuses too. Octopuses also. Yeah.
Yes. One of my guides is a beautiful big black octopus, and she wears a harpoon that she made she made a ring out of it that somebody fired at her. And she's a massive black gigantic creature.
And first of all, I love where you're going because no one has gone here yet. So I'm fascinated. Keep going. But the other thing is scientists cannot find the DNA that octopuses are connected to at all. And they think it came from a meteorite.
Yep. Doesn't surprise me at all.
Yep.
The ocean is so much more connected to space than any of us realized. We also, that we're fucking up dolphins with the fishing nets is a really bad thing. The dolphins are sort of like a go-between for us and aliens or something. I'm not totally sure. Dolphins have power over us that I didn't know about. I love them. They're also very empathetic. We all hear about the dolphin humping, the dolphin rape, blah, blah, blah. I have 2 gay cats who hump each other. It's not that big a deal that dolphins hump
not
other
to
male
animals.
dolphins.
I don't think to animals.
Exactly. Well, they have a heightened sense of empathy. And I remember this study about dolphins that was if you give a dolphin, if a dolphin learns that the whole crew of dolphins gets a treat, if they forego theirs, they will bypass theirs to feed everybody, the masses. And people don't do that. People don't do this. No. Dolphins are better than us. We need to be doing right by the dolphins. But they are some kind of mystical gatekeeper, as are many of the creatures on this planet that we do not respect or honor.
Yeah.
And we need to get right because this planet is almost over. It's about to expire. We're fucking it up. But whatever information's coming about the ocean, I had to get out of the tub because, I close my eyes and it's all dark when I'm doing this, when I journey like this. and I was under the water with aliens and a massive prehistoric monster, and they could all see me.
Wow.
And I was like, nope, I'm out. I got out of the tub, couldn't handle it, went to bed. Like, I could not fucking take it.
When you were saying orange equipment, isn't that what they use when there's an oil spill? When they're trying to go fix something? Don't they? I think they wear orange. I'm not positive.
I think you're right. I mean, they showed me everything was orange until I went deep down, and then it was really sinister, creepy. I shouldn't say sinister, like they're not here to hurt. This is like theirs. They've like loaned us space, you know, even people who think, you know, I own a plot of land in LA. Do I? I don't think so. Right. I mean, it's like time to change the whole mentality. And I love how everybody calls it the Matrix, but it's almost like a way to give up your responsibility in honoring the quote Matrix. It's still a fabulous planet that deserves our respect and care. And man, it is like high time. That's a very good point about the orange equipment. I wonder if this is an oil spill, because it's like what I saw was a lot of animals, a lot of aquatic animals. The other thing, so I have two weird, I don't know who this one person is, but the celebrity stuff I have that they gave me, which I just ask them, I tell them specifically what I need the information for, which I did last time with Betty White. And so I think that they give me stuff that will amuse people too. Like that's the big scary message first. The fun message, which honestly makes me sad because I worshipped her as a child. She's Leo. Madonna is about to get weirder. I'm a little bit worried. They showed me the Express Yourself cone bra, you know, the beautiful silky pink one. And that was seriously like high Madonna for me. That was like that whole Like a Prayer moment she had was my favorite. And then everything got like a little bit weirder, you know, it was a little bit weirder after that. But they showed me her, and I don't know if she's like gonna go for the Pope or do some weird, I don't know exactly. Oh,
do like a Sinead O'Connor thing, insult the Pope or something?
Maybe it feels a little bit worse. Like, I don't know if she goes like full exorcist, masturbates with a crucifix. I don't know what she's about to do, but they showed me her filleting like architecture that felt like maybe in Rome, like maybe around the Vatican. It felt like maybe a gargoyle. Like it felt very
symbolic, very like really giving it to tradition.
Yes, very much. And the whole time she was kind of dead-eyed and checked out. So it wasn't like, you know, it was not like a prayer.
I have to say, something weird. I don't know. On TikTok, I see all those music star symbolisms, and I don't know anything about that. You know, that they all sold their soul or something. I do know something weird that someone I do know that was in a working with a celebrity was forced to get a particular tattoo, a very strange tattoo. That's all I'm going to say. And everyone had to get it. And I'm not going to say any more so people don't know. I doubt they'd connect who it was, but I'm not, and I don't need any knocks on my door if it's true.
Yeah.
But, you know, this is really weird because Sean Penn, of all people, is now like talking about using nuclear war with Russia or using nuclear stuff. And it's like, no.
What?
No. Yes. He's like, he said something to Sean Hannity, of all people, everybody's crossing over. He said like, those of us that have nuclear weapons shouldn't be so scared to use them. That's not like him at all. He's usually a peace guy. And it's like, what is happening? Something changed over that pandemic. Something changed a lot of people. And I don't
And I do think a lot of people are being driven by aliens right now.
That negative alien agenda. God, I wish I could get that woman Lisa Renee on, because I don't
know who this is. I gotta listen.
So everyone, I'm looking this up because when Amy Spicer and I talked about it, and we talked about, her name is Lisa Renee, and she has on her website, and I'm going to find the name of her podcast because everyone asked. I got like 4 emails from it. She's very hard to she's channeling. So she has this weird podcast. It's called Energetic Synthesis. Okay, energeticsynthesis.com. If you Google Lisa Renee, Renee, we're going to go a little long on this because I'm gabbering. Put in Lisa Renee aliens, you'll find it. And she has like so much that you can, meditations, classes.
I have seen them. Yep, I have seen them with people I give readings to. I see when they got aliens feeding on them, fucking with them.
Yes.
I had some junk in me a long time ago from them. They dropped devices in us. They use us to power their spaceship. I mean, I know how fucking out there I'm getting, but we are, especially empaths, healers, light workers, psychics, we are blasting a bright light and they are trying to eat it.
Okay.
Now do you know about revoking their passports, Karen? Have you learned how to do this?
No, hold that thought because I'm going to tell you one really weird thing, and then you're going like so long. Okay, so
I still have one prediction left too, but
okay, good. We're going to get to that. Okay, so I have bumps on my head, and and so what happens when you get a cyst? Is or you're a person like me that gets a lot of cysts. You have a lot of places where your body fills with something, whether it's yucky stuff or blood. So I hate them. They're like gross. And if people touch my head, they're gross. They're not that uncommon. So I go at them with needles and they're way under. Like the doctor's like, don't go for those. And I'm like, you don't know me. And so
I love picking at stuff. I do the same thing.
You know, I don't, but these make me crazy. And when you get to the bottom, there's a little egg. And it's now it's not like an egg, it's like what I know it's what naturally happens when these things, cells come together.
Right.
But there's one I'm going at now. And as I was digging at it, I heard someone say, I put that there.
Oh my God.
I know that. And I can't get to it. And it's like, but I know that's really, I'm sorry, folks. That's really gross, and that's as out there.
It's gross and it's fun.
I can never run for president because that's what they'll play. Is someone put, but okay. So
can you imagine any of us trying to run for president? Well, listen, I love that, and I am very cysty myself, which we'll have to talk about in private sometime.
Well, I've never heard it before, but just in this one where someone said I put that there, and I was like, all right, then I got to get it out.
I love it. Well. They now, when I see them in readings, because they know that I'm like the mall cop of, the psychics, we can revoke their stuff. They can lose their entry to this planet. And now they don't like it when I see them in readings. They try to hide from me, stuff like that. And I can always tell who's good and who's up to no good because of their reaction to me. So, but yeah, the freaking alien stuff coming in right now, they're driving celebrities. They don't really have that much power. And it's seriously just people not practicing psychic protection. It is we are so much more powerful. This is our planet. The other thing is, I will say, I keep telling my clients, hug trees, plug into Pachamama, the earth. You go worship the stars. You're on the best star. Plug into this energy. The only thing I worship, and I work with deities. I'm into all the witchy shit. The only thing I worship is this planet. That's it. And that, I think, is where I get so much of my power from.
And there's two things, and then we'll jump on that last prediction. So energetic synthesis, she also has, I clicked on something that said letters to Lisa Renee or something like that. And literally down the right-hand side, as you're saying that, she has psychic self-defense number 1, number 3, number 2, number 4. They're all listed there. And she does a 12th dimension. I've sent it to a couple people. Protection, a 12th dimension protection that is like 5 minutes long. That's quite powerful. That Amy told me about. But she's
you guys,
she's channeling. So it's a weird listen, but
I'll listen. Well, and Sarah Goff and I are doing all that stuff in the UK. We have psychic protect. We're doing psychic a bunch of empowerment. We're doing 2 retreats. This comes out July 1st, so it's August that we're doing this.
Nice,
but
in
you guys
England.
come.
Okay.
Yeah, come look, because we'll teach you how to do all this and send your loved ones into the light. Honestly, we're doing some real weird shit, but it's going to be fun.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Okay,
right.
so let me give you this last prediction.
20 minutes in. Go ahead.
That is so us. Okay, sorry. All right, so I did see, they showed me this very interesting, it was, I believe it's a male, someone who went missing, a man who went missing, but I think he went missing as a boy or a teenager, possibly a teenager. There is a car related to his disappearance. Sorry, I'm reading my notes. And I think the car might be blue. But there's some connection with the car, and he comes back and he's alive.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah. And maybe it's like low level. Maybe it won't be like crazy big news, but there's somebody out there who possibly was abducted as a teenager or child, and he's coming back to us. So that's great. There was also like a woman, like maybe his mother or someone, but she had like a very sexy Bernadette Peters kind of vibe to her that I really liked. So there's like a woman in there that kind of looks like that. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know who it is.
That's
very exciting.
You know, that I think, and somebody else said this too, the alien stuff might be popping up both true and untrue as a diversion.
There are a lot of diversions right now.
Yeah. Angela, tell everyone where to find you, and also really quick where they can go to England and learn psychic self-defense with you.
Yay! Come to my website, angelalovell.com. And there's a link there to learn all about the retreats. You can even just drive in. You can stay in the hotel with us. It's my aunt's haunted hotel. It's so old. It's ancient. And it's so haunted and fun and full of fairies. And also, my Instagram is Dear Witchy Poo. My podcast is called Dear Witchy Poo. Just come get a reading. Come to the retreat. It'll be fun. I'll tell you what aliens are hanging around, or fairies, or whatever.
And also, as I say with everyone, you want witchy. Don't. There's a lot of fakes. Angela is not going to contact you. You will contact her.
Yes.
So
real psychics have a link
to
their
website.
readings.
Yes.
We don't offer free ones.
Yes.
Oh God, I have like 4 right now, and Instagram won't take them down.
No, it's getting crazy. And I didn't realize it's also yarn makers, and they just started duplicating comics for whatever reason. I don't know.
How are they making any money? God, I wish we were all making enough money that weren't these.
I don't know. Maybe they couldn't make fake accounts, the fake ones that follow. But I will tell you this. I have a watermark on the bottom of mine now that says, if you're not getting this at Rontowski, it's coming from a duplicate. And also, I marked my account private. And I let almost everyone in. It seems to be helping, but I hate to even say that out loud and test it. So, Angela Lovell. Yay!
I love you, my Leo sister.
I love you too, my friend. Thank you so much for doing this.
My pleasure.
All right.
Hey everyone, this is Lindsay Pandya, and I'm a recovering psychologist. I have over 20 years of experience in the mental health field, but I realize there's so many limitations. I know there are quicker ways to unlock someone's healing potential and traumas, so I stepped away from being a psychologist and took the scary leap to follow my heart and provide spiritual healing full-time. I believe I have a unique perspective that can help you also step into your full potential. I provide one-on-one healing for trauma through shamanic practices, inner child work, shadow work, and so much more. My Inner Child Workshop begins May 4th at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and May 11th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And all of the sessions will be recorded, so if you need to jump in after the workshop begins, just message me and I'd be happy to share them with you. You can learn more about what I offer and connect with me on my website at intuitivepsych.com. That's intuitivepsych.com. Join me and let's go play with your inner child and see how we can transform your traumas into treasures.
Marie Spearoff is here. Marie, how are you today?
I am so lovely. How are you, Karen?
Good. Thank you for doing this. It is, I think I've said this in front of everyone. It's coming out July 1st. But before we even get started with your predictions, you have something awesome to talk about where I am going to get to meet you in person. I can't wait. What's happening?
Yeah. Oh, we have Alien School field trip coming up August 12th to the 14th in Tennessee. The first one ever and the first of many.
I'm so excited about this. So Jess is going to be there, and it's in Nashville, and where I just was, and where I will eventually move. So it is pretty damn cool down there, and it's just going to be kind of the gang, isn't it?
Yes, actually, it's going to be the gang from all platforms: Discord, AOD, Facebook, Patreon. Everything from the ground up that Jessa has built, and collecting the collective, all of us in one place for the first time, getting to meet and greet and just exchange energy and raise the collective conscious.
Yeah. And I went to the one in Arizona, and it was amazing. And even the times where we weren't doing stuff, just meeting people and talking was phenomenal. And so many people made so many friends. So fantastic. So now hopefully we'll see you all at Alien School. Where can they go to look up tickets or whatever happens there?
So everything is at alienschoolfieldtrip.com. And you can also find lots of links. There's an IG for Alien School Field Trip. And then also just anybody like yourself, Karen or Jessa, or anybody that other people are following usually have information to guide you there.
Yes. Oh, they probably know I'm not as organized as most, but alienschool.com. I know now. I already got my tickets and my rental car and hotel and everything. All right, my darling. I will start the clock. What predictions do you have for us?
Okay. So prediction wise, for the Alien School Field Trip specifically, there are going to be a couple guest surprise speakers that we have coming up, and they're basically going to ignite the fire. I'm really into Dharma right now. So in our Pitta, in our Vata, and our Kapha, to bring in this full ignition of healing that kind of, I always want to think of the scene in Avatar where they're meditating and they're holding arms and they're rocking back and forth. So that same energy, or that same imagery, but energetically, where we're all just really harnessing. We don't have to be holding hands. We just have to be there and allow it to flow through. We're raising the collective consciousness in the area, but also there are some really good predictions with activations. There's going to be activations from all different elements, and they're going to be activated in multiple ways, receiving services from one another. The dedicated morning and afternoon of energy exchanges is going to be so profound, and it leaves nobody out, because then therefore in the morning you can give, and in the evening you can receive.
Wow. I love this.
Yes. And there's lots of water. There's lots of fire with bonfires, lots of really good food, whether we're cooking or we're having the food trucks. Everything is really nourishing for our energetic fields, but also our physical bodies. We're going to be coming in with so many different realms of brokenness, because we're all still healing ourselves in the earth. And we're going to be leaving with having not only been able to bandage ourselves, but been able to remove those bandages and see the healing for what it is, which is immaculate. And, the scars are just the marks of our beauty.
Wow, I love that. Okay, keep going, my friend. What else you see in comment? This is great.
Okay, well, we're also going to have tournaments where we can play volleyball and different games, which is, no one can leave that out, because a good little bit of competition and really getting to know each other and work together in a team environment is really going to set us apart, but also set us on top with each other. So there is no one left out on that. And there's also other things: poetry writing, singing, songwriting. The sky's really the limit with us. Any creative idea that we can think of that we're bringing, but also think of all of us together, how much creativity that's going to blossom, that we're just going to have massive amounts of creativity there to just bring to life any idea that we want, because we're in a setting with environment, nature, candlelight vigils, if we want, candlelight meditations at night where everybody can bring a candle. So many, the ideas are endless. And we are really just marketing this to everyone to bring their own you. Great. And bring want with you. You can come with the shirt on your back, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to get creative and be able to contribute just as much as somebody that might have 10 shirts.
Awesome. Okay, so now, do you have predictions for 2022, the second half?
Oh my gosh. So for 2022, this Mercury retrograde is kind of rocking everybody. Mm-hmm. The next one is going to be a little bit softer. Good. Because this one really catapulted us. And then as for the coming months, there's going to be a lot more harshness coming up, because we're kind of, it's volcanic. Let's put it that way. And think of how obsidian looks after the volcano has, melted away. Obsidian is just that pure golden blackness of energetic vibration. And so we're moving through this volcanic into that energetic vibration, but it's going to be rocky. It's going to be really rough. I definitely suggest any readers out there or anybody liking readings, start hyping up on those energy exchanges and being able to kind of watch your process as you go, but also not for outside validation, but just to stay on track. Because I know for myself alone, like this Mercury retrograde has me rocked that I can't even remember what appointment comes from the next. And so it's going to soften a little bit, but staying on track is going to be the biggest thing. A schedule of stability, energetic stability, not the 9 to 5, the one where you're meditating, you're doing some yoga movements, you're doing the nature walks. Get into the lifestyle you want to live, even when you're being rocked, even when that depression has you not wanting to get out of bed in the morning. The biggest thing that you can do is have an accountability partner, and that's going to be huge for the fall months.
Good, because that's a great idea. I have to say right now, the same amount of readings I'm used to doing are exhausting me, like just crazy.
Yes, and my energy is depleting as well. And ASFT, that Alien School Field Trip, is where you can really meet those new people, and well, not even new, but just connect on that accountability level to be able. I know right now I have a yoga partner that's my accountability partner for that. I have, you know what I mean? But I'm hoping to branch that out into more things. Like I want to read more books. Okay, let me have somebody that I do a book exchange with, and we hold each other accountable. Like all of these things are building my energetic field and allowing me to tap into my full potential.
I do that with two friends that we write 3 jokes a day so that we have hold each other accountable.
Yeah. Yes, and for these fall months coming up, like if we think that this one rocked us, like I said, the next one's supposed to feel somewhat softer. Maybe that it doesn't. Like I felt this one ambushed me. Like I felt like it just like was guerrilla warfare and took me and knocked my feet out from under me. The next one we're going to be a little bit more prepared for because this one felt like the ambush, but it's still that volcanic, tumultuous, energetic field that's going to be surrounding us. And the communication is just going to be broken within us to where we have to kind of relearn how to communicate with ourselves and say, I need to drink water. I need to get up. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah, so much coming this year. Okay. Anything else you see for us or the country or people or?
For the country, more so, I just stay within yourselves, stay wholesome. The things on the news are everything that people have signed up for, but still exuberate your compassion. Empathy is when you're on somebody else's mat. Compassion is when you're staying on your own. So don't put yourself in their shoes in a way that's going to drain you. Just hold compassion for them and understand that, they are like you. They have chosen the route that they have chosen, and all of them have trials and tribulations. We can share in the compassion, and that's the best way to get through it.
Excellent. Okay. And there's a couple minutes. If you have anything else to add, anything else for folks?
I would just like to say that everybody is super stoked to meet Karen, to meet Jessa. And we do want to keep in mind that at ASFT, we also don't want to overwhelm people. So the biggest thing is to make sure, and this is not just at ASFT, this is everywhere, think about the space that you would want to have. And give that to the other person. I was very much raised with treat people how you want to be treated. And that really, really holds very strongly for us in energetic fields. Our energy is so, so valuable. And we want, I think the number one thing is just really, really holding other people's energy just as precious as we want to hold our own. And even when we're not holding our energy as precious because we don't know how to take care of ourselves as well yet, it's still the fact of fake it till you make it.
Yes. And also I believe that Jessa and I are doing psychic stand-up. We're gonna do a psychic stand-up show, aren't we?
Yes, I believe so. And I believe that there might be some other guests as well that haven't quite decided yet. So I don't want to throw their names out there, but they are big names that we all know of and they are friends of your guys's. Right. So we're hoping for that. And hopefully when they decide that they've made that decision, they'll announce it themselves and we can all celebrate with them.
Great. Okay. Yes. And my psychic stand-up show is, most of you have seen it because it's on YouTube and stuff. So awesome. So, all right, Marie, tell everyone where they can find you.
Oh, my website address is mariespiroff.com, and I offer an array of readings, hypnosis, gene keys, and Akashic record reading.
Fantastic. Thank you, my dear. We'll see you in August.
Thank you, Karen. You're amazing.
Bye, hon. Ashley. Ashley is here. Now, darling, first start out with where they can find you.
Okay, Instagram at Ashley Marie Thornton, and I spell Ashley the British way, so ASHLEIGHMARIETHORNTON, and Twitter _Ashley Marie. And that's it.
I love that you know that that's the British way.
Well, that's what someone told me, was that it was really common in the UK for the females to spell it that way and for the males to spell it LEY.
Is that a male
name? Yeah, like Ashley Wilkes from Gone with the Wind.
Oh, okay.
Or, Ash from The Evil Dead.
Oh, okay. Ash makes sense to me, but Ashley didn't. But then again, you are, I don't watch movies, and you are the movie psychic.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so I got some right, but I'll wait till you start the timer.
Okay, I will start the timer. Tell us what you got, my friend.
Okay, we're started.
You're started.
Okay. So first, I wanted to brag about everything I got right.
Awesome.
So the first thing, no Kevin Hart. All of the expected favorites did win. I'm so excited. Flea got 3 nominations, so I was right. That's big for them. Will Smith did get the Best Actor.
Wait, Flea was a movie?
Yes.
Okay.
From Denmark.
Okay, sorry. Okay, go ahead. That's how far behind I am.
It's on Hulu.
Okay.
Will Smith, Best Actor. Olivia Colman was nominated, so yay for her. Best Sound went to Dune. Congrats to them. And Best Animated Feature Encanto won. So yay, I was right about 7 things. And the things I was wrong about were hilarious. But that's all, this is all fun.
7 is good. So there's nothing wrong with 7.
Yes.
So people have this expectations for psychics to be perfect, but the world is not perfect and no one is perfect at their job. So I'm going to give you a high 5 on 7. And what else do you have for us now, my dear?
Okay. So, and you mentioned this in the class that you teach, that there's been studies done that the closer to the event, the more accurate the predictions are.
Yep.
So I didn't want to do too many predictions, but there are 2 films in particular that I'm excited about. So we have coming up Spielberg. I call him Spielsy. So I'm just reading my notes. Spielsy. The Fabelmans. So I got that this will win half of the noms, but not the big ones like director and picture. So I got like the 6 of Cups and the 6 of Pentacles. So I think it will win half of the things it's nominated for. And then my birthday twin, Martin Scorsese, he has Killers of the Flower Moon that will come out. And I'm getting, so I got Page of Pentacles, 3 of Cups. I think it will get nominated 3 times and win one of the 3.
Okay. And this is literally next year, right?
Yes. So they announced the date for the next Academy Awards is March 12th. And I believe it.
In 2023?
Yeah.
Oh God, we're way ahead. Okay, go ahead.
That's okay.
Because I was I'll have you on the year end one too. But this is ahead. We're ahead of ourselves. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I just love the title of the official Paranormal Karen Oscar correspondent. So I was like, I'm going to make my predictions only about the Oscars.
Okay, and you can do other stuff too, and we'll keep your title. You can have that title. It's yours.
Oh, cool. Okay, so the biggest cause near and dear to my heart, which I wanted to spend the majority of my time on, was Hattie McDaniel's missing Oscar. I know you have a big podcast, so I'm hoping, this makes its way to someone who can help. So Hattie McDaniel, for some who might not know, she won, speaking of Gone with the Wind, she won Best Supporting Actress for Gone with the Wind, first Black woman to win an Oscar. Her Oscar is missing. So I turned to my tarot, so I'm hoping this can help us find her missing Oscar. So I got the 10 of Pentacles. So at first I was thinking maybe someone relative might know. Like I was thinking like children, grandchildren, just one of her descendants. But then I looked this up. She did not have any children. So I was thinking, oh, maybe someone else in her family, like, I don't know, like, nieces, nephews.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking someone in the family. And then I was talking with this to a friend of mine, and she was thinking more, whether it's found or not, she'll always have her legacy. And then I did like some more clarifying polls, and then I just got down a rabbit hole on just Google Hattie McDaniel missing Oscar. There's this one really good article, and in the article it was talking about Howard University, which is she donated it to the university, and I was thinking, like that was in her will, was to donate it there. So
Ten of
my
Pentacles.
prediction,
Yep.
yeah. So I'm thinking that her Oscar statuette is still at the university, and then I was just kind of meditating on that, and just what came into my head was in a brown cardboard box with a lid and other artifacts in it on a shelf above eye level. Gotta open it to find it. Like, just start opening boxes. Like, as in, I don't think there's a label on the outside of the box. Like, It's just a plain box. So you got to just start opening. I got custody of, I don't know if they call it the drama department, the theater department. But when I asked if it was, just in the drama theater department, the 10 of Pentacles came out again. Wow. And then a couple other things. I have this written in a notebook, and then when I get to the bottom of the page, my handwriting gets really small. I don't know why. I just
That's
don't
the way
go to
I
the
do
next page. So let's Ace of Wands and 7 of Cups. Oh, 7 of Cups. Other things in the box. And as you know from your tarot class, 7 of Cups, that's an acting card.
Yes.
Yeah. And then
it's also interesting because also on the 7 of Cups, they have that one sort of thing that has the tissue over it.
Yes. And oh my God, I'm jumping around in my notes that you mentioned tissue paper, because I get,
One.
Okay, so I'm getting not wrapped up in anything like tissue paper. It's just sitting there in the box. Let's see. And I'm getting also maybe behind a first row of boxes, within the first 2 rows, Knight of Cups. And yeah. So I was like, like the Knight, he's looking at the cups. I'm like, is that in the first row, or is that like 1, 2, like within 2 rows in? But so I'm getting like the first row or 2.
Also,
and then
the Knight of Cups might mean they're not going to find it right away for a while.
Oh yes, yeah. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, they might have to be just like looking. And then I guess so. The last time this article, I was saying the last time someone reported it seen was in the early 70s. It went missing between the late 60s, early 70s. So it has been a while. And the other thing, just if anyone's listening, I forgot about this. I knew this, but I forgot. But in the article, so the statuette, it's not like how we think of it today. For that category at that time, it was more of a plaque, and there was a tiny statuette attached to it, like I want to say 6 or 8 inches. I forget how big. So it's not like you're not looking for an Oscar statue. You're really looking more for a plaque with a little tiny Oscar on it.
Wow. And you said,
if anyone's listening.
Yes, you said where it was. Where did you say it was? At a school?
Howard, she donated it to Howard University, and I'm getting, which is what her was in her will. And I'm getting it's still in the drama department, just in a box.
And somebody wouldn't recognize it if it didn't look like an Oscar. That's what I bet.
Yeah, and that's what the article mentions too, is if someone's looking and they don't know that, they're just looking for what we think of today, just that golden statue.
Right.
So if someone didn't know that, they might have, passed it up by mistake.
Yeah, that feels right. It doesn't feel like someone has it or they stole it, because who wants to steal that if you're not going to sell it, which it would pop up somewhere.
I have my tarot cards. I'll ask: did the Oscar get stolen? Did Hattie
Yeah, and plus, if it was that long ago,
I got the Knight of Wands.
Knight of Wands. That's interesting because that to me is usually about returning.
Oh,
so if it was stolen, it would be returned.
Because there was, I won't get into the history, we don't have the time, but just getting to the university, which was in her will, that was a very interesting journey and not one we know all of the answers to. But it did go to the university. That is confirmed because, there's pictures of it like in a display case and stuff. So we do know it did get to the university, but it had quite the journey there.
Excellent. And we're out of time, but just so you know, folks, Ashley is our official Oscar. We can even make you the entertainment psychic, if you like. And you also do other readings if people want to contact you, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Just reach out. I'm doing them by donation only because, I know we're still in everyone,
in a weird place.
It's hard. Yeah. So donations only. Just reach out to me. Tarot. I just did a reading for a golden doodle. It was so much fun.
Oh,
but yeah.
Wonderful. So give everybody your handle again.
Okay, so Instagram at Ashley Marie Thornton, ASHLEIGH is Ashley, and Thornton as in Billy Bob Thornton, no relation, and then Twitter at _Ashley Marie.
Awesome. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you. This was fun.
Awesome. Okay, everybody. Now it's our favorite Jessica Gillis and Oscar are here. Which, by the way, folks, we're taping this in May, and it's coming out July 1st. So if some of the people are saying stuff that already happened, hooray! And I just did a healing with Jessica, so I'm like on cloud 9. It's amazing. All right, darling. Shall we? I will hit the timer and you tell me what's happening. There you go.
Okay, so I actually have a written channeling that I'm going to do directly from Oscar, and some of it might sound a bit intense, but
we love
he's
intense.
Looking at me right now. Yeah, apparently it is supposed to be intense.
He's saying it's paranormal Karen. Yes, it's intense.
Yeah, exactly. So one thing he wanted me to clarify is that this obviously just isn't for everyone, but he was putting out a blanket onto everyone that hears it. It is for. So if you feel inclined to send it to someone, that might not be a message for them, but if you stumble upon it, it is probably for you. So he was specific about July, starting in July, opportunity to understand the meaning of wisdom, facing a deep shadow, a younger part of our own karma that is still covered. You will either teeter, flux, flow, fall, or balance, but you will move through it. And then a very different voice came in, and he was still orchestrating it, but it said that the ancestors are singing in your blood. The painful beliefs that you carry of theirs are activated. You choose your song, but you must learn the words and the meaning of the lyrics that you are singing. You have to sing to yourself. Oh, no, I read that wrong. You have to listen to yourself. So you would have to sing to yourself to listen to yourself. Then he said, you are here now. It's time to face the music. You are here now. What song are you singing? And then he says, why do we see the old problems getting louder? What song are you singing? Go to nature, go to nature. He repeated that. He said it's important to go to nature. And then he said, this isn't meant to be easy. Life is not meant to be easy. Then he said, welcome to the bardo. Please make yourself comfortable. You are doing just fine. Here is a hand up. Turn it all upside down. Come together. Let people hear your story. Sing your song into the fire. Sing sand into fire. Sing to the earth, barefoot in the forest. Listen to the song. It sings back to you. Just keep listening to the matter, to the music within. Go deeper. Rest in the mud. Bury your body in the water. Or don't, but the gate is open. Find community. Be here for each other. Be here for each other. It is just music. It is safe to dance. It's always been safe to dance. We are in time and color. There is a lot of energy available. There is a lot of pain in the story. Just try your best to come back to love. There is more than enough love for you here, more than enough love for all of them, all of you, all of us. You have to be honest about your song. If you believe you are worthy of unconditional love, you will sing that song. If you believe you are not worthy of unconditional love, if you believe love has condition, you will sing that song to all around you. You create the song that shows others codependency, so listen to your lyrics. This energy is a gateway. There is no pressure, no rush. You are only responsible for your own karma. Who you impact, you will impact, and who impacts you will have an impact on you. Just trust the process. Learn your song. We don't need another. Create it. The crow does not judge its own voice. And that was the end.
Wow. Okay. So I have a quick, because there's a couple minutes, I have a quick couple questions. So the song sounds like our story, something you and I were just talking about, right?
That's why I was blown away that what we did in our session is exactly kind of what he was pulling forward.
And I feel like there was he was sort of saying, not be careful, but like it's going to get a little bit harder. I think July on, it's going to get a little harder, and we have to stay in sort of in the, almost like staying in that state of gratitude. And what is my story? Like, is it going on out there, or is it happening to me? Which I kind of feel like when I think we're going into food shortages and weird money stuff, I always tell people that their story doesn't have to be that story.
Yeah. So he's just bringing forward again the idea of the bardo. And if people aren't familiar with the bardo, that's where you are right now. So the idea of the bardo in Buddhism is the liminal space between death and rebirth. But that is the exact same space when you turn it upside down as the space between birth and re-death. So you're never outside of the bardo. You're always within it. You might just have a different experience of it if you're disembodied for a moment. But we're in the bardo. So the idea that there will ever not be a karmic churning of pain, pleasure, attachment, that's where we are. That's what this school is. So if you're aiming for utopia, that's something you need to build and kind of individualize within yourself.
Wow. The part about the ancestors is because it almost does align with where I was saying to you. I feel like it is get your work done now. Like finals are coming, like your inner work.
Yeah.
And the ancestors, what do you have an interpretation on that? Ancestors singing in your blood?
Yeah. So first I watched him go like, slow down. So remember the patience, and he really wants to highlight that. He said, there is no pressure. There is no rush. It's just that the gate is open. So there's an opportunity, just like, people who are the same way they were when they were 20 in their 60s. There's no you don't need to do anything in this life, but there are opportunities to learn and change. So with the ancestors singing in the blood, if we think about blood being the red like the root chakra, it's flowing like water. So that's sacral. Water holds memory. Water's in our whole body is made of water. The planet, we need water to survive. It carries all of the memory of the planet. Every ancestor you've had, human or otherwise, they're singing in your blood. He's asking if you have any questions.
I actually think I'm going to leave that there, but it's so funny how, because I know you channeled this earlier. You didn't do it when we did our reading, but when you were doing the healing on me, absolutely 100% a gray alien. Was it like just came into my mind, and it flashed again. Like what you're saying, like that's an ancestor in my blood. I think I got it. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. At Zen Lasagna on Instagram, correct?
Yeah, zen.lasagna.
Zen.lasagna. Okay. I'm still buzzing from my healing, so.
Good. It's interesting. I was like, well, what are we going to do? Are we going to pull cards? And there were cards that helped guide what I channeled, but it was like, he knew what he wanted to say, and my hand was actually hurting while I was trying to keep up with him.
Wow.
So
wow.
He knew what he wanted to say. And so he just this final word right there is that we're all doing just fine.
Well, thank you, Jessica, and thank you, Oscar.
Thank you, Karen. Always a pleasure. So much fun.
Hey, everybody, you loved, you remember Kira from Kira and Karen Can Read, and you loved her. I love her. Last time, KiraComedy.com. You have to see everything she does, and now she's here to make predictions, and she's on set. So we have to make this fast. So, Kira, tell us what you see coming.
Well, you know, Karen, that I work better with questions. So if there are questions, what do you think people want to hear about? What do you think they want to kind of glean into the future about? Because that's when I kind of get activated.
Got it. Okay, so I'm going to fire away at you. So last time you did finance, so I'm going to go in a little bit of a different direction. How about the housing market?
So it's going to be very different wherever people live, you know, so that's going to be a little tricky because, well, here we are because we're going to get back into finance. So what I'm feeling is everything's going to go down.
Okay.
The housing markets will not follow suit the same way. For example, Los Angeles will be very different than Albuquerque. So if, you know, interest rates go up in San Francisco and Los Angeles and places like New York, etc., it's not going to affect the housing as much. It will still be, you know, a bubble, and it will still be inflated. And I guess that's good news if you know, own a house, but is it anything real and tangible, really, right? Yeah. Because if you wanted to refinance, you're still going to be dealing with really high interest rates. But the one thing I will say that I keep getting hits on is the US dollar. And I think, did I talk about this last time? Because, you know, when I give these predictions, I never remember what I say because
you talked a lot about
in
crypto.
the moment.
Yeah. You talked a lot about
I did. Okay. Yeah. So unfortunately, it feels very like weakened, and it almost feels like what I see is like it disintegrates. You know, the paper, the literal paper that we use, the fiat money that we use is like disintegrating. I'm not saying it's next month or next, you know, but within a couple of years.
I think it's
and that's
closer.
Really scary.
Yeah, it is
closer.
Scary.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really scary.
Different topic, weather.
One thing that I'm feeling and what really concerns me is I feel like it's this summer and California is an earthquake. I know that's not weather, but that's something
that's in that category. Yes,
it's earth. It's
earth
stuff category. We are going to be in for some massive earthquakes. And the thing is, it's not going to be like, it might not even be started in California. We might feel it in Asia, let's say, but because we get, you know, we get everything, like it'll come to us.
Yeah.
So it might not even center. Yeah, exactly. It might not even center in California, but Asia feels like water also. So I don't know if that's like tsunami. But California also feels like we're going to have some sort of ripple effect, some sort of aftershock. And we might also have our own, but there's something big brewing. Like, where's the Bermuda Triangle? I mean, I'm going to assume you're Bermuda.
Yeah, it's off on the East Coast side.
Okay. So it's like a version of the Bermuda Triangle. It's like this vortex, it's like this energy, but I'm feeling it more, you know, off of like Japan, like, you know, that part of Asia.
I think that is the Ring of Fire.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think that is. I have to look it up, but it's supposed to be the earthquake Ring of Fire. Okay.
Oh. I didn't even know that.
I'll look that up in a second, or I'll cover that at the end. But yes, and it sort of rings all. It's supposed to be a map thing. I'll take a look at that. The other thing, and here is the thing. This is a 2-part question. The first one is, I'm going to go with the first one. Is there going to be another shutdown or another weird monkeypox or something coming up at the end of the year?
They're trying to create that. People are exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
If you are having monkeypox, if you are having like any kind of like asymptomatic monkeypox,
I'm waiting for puppy pox. They're so cute.
Yeah. Oh, they are. It's really just immune system. It really just comes down to immune system. So anything can get you if your immune system is not supported. So really, it doesn't matter. Like it just drives me crazy that if we're all focused on like a specific thing
or getting sick.
Yeah, it's just your immune system. So research, how can I detox? How can I kill off cells that don't need to be there anymore? For example, I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice, but if you fast for like even 16 hours, your healthy cells go like they get activated and they start working really hard because they're like, oh no, we're not being fed. And the let's say, for example, let's just say cancerous cells, they are messed up, right? They're not 100%. Mm-hmm. And so the cancerous cells, when you fast for, let's say, again, I'm not telling people to starve themselves. I'm just saying do a fast once in a while. This is just an example. The cancer cells, and we all have them, they cannot survive under any kind of stress at all.
Wow.
And they will die off. And therefore, that's called a detox. So it's things like that. Like, look at what you can do to support your immune system. And that's really what we're going to worry about. Because if it's not monkeypox coming this fall on NBC, it's going to be
coronavirus 12 else. Or something like that.
Yeah, it'll be something else. And you just have to, whether you're vaccinated or not, it doesn't matter at this point. You just have to support your immune system. Are you operating? Is your gut microbiome operating the way it should be? By the way, that's your second brain. That is what you should worry about. When people talk about mental health, it starts in your guts. But people think that's gross because that's where poop is made. So they don't want to talk about that, They don't want to talk about that. Mental health is not just, what's going on in your brain and the different cortex. It's in your gut. There's a microbiome that is telling your brain, I need more Snickers. Give me more Twix. And when we shut that brain off, everything else works better too. So I would suggest, and by the way, monkeypox is survivable. I don't know why they make it. It's like smallpox. It's like any kind of virus that erupts the skin into pustules, I think they're called, or whatever. I can't pronounce them correctly. But it's very survivable. It's very treatable. It's a virus. You treat it. You treat your immune system
and
the same way.
I call Kira all the time because you and I in the natural stuff, but you should really be a naturopath. And I'm just going to throw this in really quick in the last few seconds here. Get your TikTok. I get some of the best and worst information from TikTok, but I must have clicked on something with the lymphatic system, and a guy keeps saying how that is your immune system. That's throwing everything out. So now I started dry brushing a little bit, not a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't commit to it. But also there's stuff like, remember this. If you'll have to look it up. But if we really go into food shortages and money shortages, there is a way to make your own oregano / olive oil thing that you put away for 6 months. You can use it on cuts. It's an antibiotic. It's all kinds of stuff. There's so much you could be doing for yourself that's not a pill.
Well, that's a really good point. Is maybe people need to get an aloe plant. Maybe people need to get some heirloom seeds now.
Yes.
Not when there's a shortage now. Maybe you need to stock a freezer with things now.
Yes.
And I know that's hard for a lot of people, right? Because it's like, well, I can't afford to get 6 months of whatever I eat and put it in my freezer. Okay, but do a little bit at a time.
Yeah, and freeze your rice so that you don't have flies in it if you keep a lot of it.
Exactly. Yes, my rice is in the freezer. And also get the vitamins that you like, get the supplements you like now. Don't wait until everybody's like, oh no, I can't get my, NAC, or I can't get my probiotic that I like, because there's whatever the problem is, whether it's shipping or whatever it is. Get it all now. I have kids, so I have a lot of their vitamins stocked up, so that I don't have to worry when when it hits. I don't know when it hits.
Whatever it is.
By the way, this is going to be gradual. So I think everyone's waiting for when's it going to happen? It's happening. It's slowly happening. It's gradual. So let's not wait until it gets to stage 4. Let's be aware of it now. And I like Manuka honey. It's very expensive. I don't buy it all at once, but I get, a little bit here and there extra when I can. This stuff is like $40 a jar, it's nuts, but I have it stocked up, so I don't want to wait.
Awesome. KiraComedy.com. Kira, any place else they can see you or you want to promote?
When does this drop?
This drops in July.
Okay. June was amazing for me. You guys really missed an amazing month. But you know what? I guess just go check out my Instagram and my Twitter. And I usually post stuff there. And on, Facebook, if you're over 40, it's just Kira Soltanovich.
That's awesome. And thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're so busy and you're working on a TV show now. So,
no worries.
Thank you. All right.
I'll talk to you later.
Paul Jasek. Paul, how are you?
I'm good, Karen. It's so good to talk to you.
It's good to talk to you, too. It's been such a weird year.
Well, just the past few days. With a Mercury retrograde, a Pluto retrograde, and an eclipse, the fact that I'm out from under the bed and dressed is amazing.
Something was really weird. So everyone knows we're taping this in May. It's May 26th today, okay? Something this weekend was so intense and so weird, and it kind of went two ways. For example, I know a friend that had an unbelievable spiritual experience. I know a friend that went to a retreat that just was mind-blowing. And whatever happened to me on Monday, I had I would say the first best, great mediumship. Somebody called me about an appointment and her father showed up, and it was I was like, oh my God, when I hung up. So this intensity is doing something for sure. So, but good to hear your voice. Okay. Start with where everyone can find you. And then I'm going to hit the timer for 10 minutes. And then after you can tell everyone where to find you again. Sound good?
I'm with you.
Okay. Where do they find you?
Okay. You can find me at my website, pauljacek.com.
JACEK, right?
JACEK, pauljacek.com, all one word, or on Facebook at Paul Jasek Tarot Reader.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. Are you ready, my friend? Here we go.
I am ready.
All right. Hit it. Okay.
Well, as we are coming into the mid-year here, this has been, even people who aren't, let's say, really attuned have realized that this has been difficult. I don't know if we all understand how exhausted spiritually we are. We've been through a tough patch. So, the energy for sure. And we talked about this a year ago, but this is the year it is intensified of let go or be dragged. Quite simply, because people, in polite society, we're not supposed to talk about politics or religion. Get God. I don't know how you find it, but there is no other way. You must find a power greater, or it's not that you won't survive, but this is, you have to understand that there are forces larger than you are. And we are watching now, especially we're talking today on the 26th of May, the horror recently. In fact, it's not even an unusual situation. You mention what's happened, they go, a witch shooting.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and that's actual fire in the air. People are so on edge. So what people you must meditate in the morning. I've been telling my clients for years, you must have morning meditation. Well, I'm too busy. Well, if you're too busy to do that, you're too busy.
Then you got to cut something out.
Yeah, well, not only that, to begin the day, or if you like this plummet downhill into a brick wall, enjoy yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But unless we get a hold of this, because this energy is parsing out who can handle it and who can't. With Pluto retrograde, Pluto furthest out there, and both you and I share the fact that I never predict, death, or I don't do medical or lawyer or legal stuff. But Pluto is the planet of transition, which is a polite word of saying death. I've had 4 people back to back, one of my dear friends of 40 years. And it's an open window, because this, I look at Earth as like a big bus station. Some people are going on the 9:15 and some at 11:20, but we're all going.
Mm-hmm.
So we are here for a good time, not a long time. So in order to enjoy it, we have to, I flew as a flight attendant. If I was flying from Los Angeles to New York, you best believe I checked the forecast in New York. Do I need to bring my overcoat? So that we're going to get a hold of this, because within that, as you begin to get grounded and centered, you'll be able to be returned to the power of choice.
Yeah. Now, it's very interesting because first of all, I am worried. We're just seeing the beginning of what's going on with the violence.
Yes.
And there's a weird, it's an ascension, it's a clearing out, it's a whatever, but I do feel like what you were saying, I don't know what this ascension is going to look like. It was funny because it's about people. Do you have more? Why am I talking in your time? You talk.
Well, no, but here's the deal. This and the feminine aspect of personality, which is, if we don't hold on to the intuitive, nurturing, loving, caring kind of personality, we are in trouble. The masculine aspect, building bigger, look at how big my missile is. I can kill, you're only so dead. So this kind of thought is not happening. I say that to say this. So within the feminine aspect of the intuition, I'm especially seeing in men only usually have 2, and this is a broad statement, certainly, 2. It's either they feel sensation or release. But within this energy that is requiring people to pay attention, it's broadening their emotional aspect that they may have shut down earlier. So we're seeing a lot of confusion, and men are now terrified and frightened because they're having all of this emotion. The feminine aspect, which, as I said, ask any mother, the energy has changed from competition, my missile's bigger than yours, to cooperation.
Yeah.
We must cooperate. If we don't hang together, we're going to hang separately. I sound like I'm just bumper stickers today, really.
I love that, though. We love your soundbite bumper stickers. I totally agree. And I do feel like we have a lot of waves of death coming, and I feel like it's going to get hard, and I'm worried about the petrodollar, but whatever this crossover is, and I hate to say this because you can't look back, but I still feel like we bypassed something a little bit ago, and now it's coming back full force. So, yes. Okay. Any good news for people?
Well, within this, if you understand, as my spiritual teacher said, okay, it's called the holy instant. You may return to heaven in any moment. Stand still, look down at your feet. That's where you are. Taking a deep breath, and now what? Now that sounds painfully simplistic, but you know what? The real deep spiritual aspects are always simplistic. Now what?
Yeah.
It is a Zen phrase of no 2 people see the same sunset. So within the positivity, this is a call to what now? What do you really want to do? So many people have been working to just cover the bills, to just, the world, people go, the world's crazy. I'm going, no, the world's criminally insane.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on how you're going. So we can no longer, the time is over for if then. If I get the bonus, then we'll go on vacation.
Yeah.
No, relax, pull yourself together. If you can get happy now, the universe, because of law of attraction, will follow you. So this is where people are being required to co-create their own reality. And that is good news. You can have what you want. That's not just a bumper sticker.
That's right. And you know what else? You just said something really important. And I had a friend, and she called me on her birthday, and I felt bad because at the end of her reading, she cried a little bit. But folks, what is important? Like half of the people from after the pandemic were like, I'm not doing it anymore. I don't want this job. I don't want, which is really a good thing. Like, do you know? But some people, including myself, like, stop working so much. Start enjoying a little more. You know, I don't know how else to say that. But anyways, you have 3 minutes, Paul. Keep going.
Yes. So within that, then, grab pen and paper. One of my favorite tools is morning meditation and writing. Write 2 or 3 pages. What's going on? Check in with yourself. This new romance that you're looking for is with you. So, are you worthy to date yourself? What are you doing here? Because the more, a great spiritual teacher, RuPaul, used to yell from the stage, if you don't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love anybody else? And that's what we're doing now. We're learning to love yourself, love everybody around you, spread that stuff around like manure. It helps stuff grow.
Yes. And politically, reach out to the other side. They are not jerks. I'm so sick of this good and evil. I'll talk about that in my thing. Okay, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Well, but there is this duality. If we don't understand the idea, all is one, we are in trouble. The division must stop.
Yeah.
Minds are joined, bodies are not. So within, especially with the horrible news we've had, what people go, I don't know, what can we do? Okay, people go, thoughts and prayers. Don't glide past that. There's enormous power in joined thought and prayer. Yeah. It really does. It changes the energy. So sending waves of love to yourself and everybody else. And yes, and grief is a different issue entirely. But then if somebody is grieving, the best thing you can do is, what do you need? How can I help you?
Yeah.
If you need me to sit with you, can I get your groceries? Or I'll just sit with you. I've done that with a friend of mine. And I think the loss of a child is probably the most devastating type of grief.
Yeah.
I've had all sorts of it, but I've never had a child. But I've sat with a woman who lost her eldest son in a plane crash. And 10 years to the day, her younger son was killed in a car accident.
Oh, my God.
And I simply sat down next to her and I said, I'll stay here as long as you need me. I don't know what else to do, but I will be here if you need me. And that's the joining, that's the healing we all need. What is it you need? I'll just sit here, tell me what you need.
Yeah. I think when someone loses a child, I think it's there's a vacuum that is, I know someone that lost a son who was very, very ill. And for the longest time, it was like, okay, quality of life and this and that. But then when the time came, it's worse than you can imagine.
Oh, I think it's my dear friend.
Yeah.
Go ahead. My dear friend that just passed. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. And he was sick toward the end and his release. But I had a dream, not last night before last. All of a sudden, I'm in a crowd like at intermission at a theater. And all of a sudden I looked up and he was waving his arm. And he said, I have seats up front. Come on. And I woke up so happy. I went, he's saving a seat for me up front.
Oh, that's fantastic. And the timer went off just perfectly. I love that, Paul. That's how you know somebody's okay.
You bet. I'm so pleased. I'm sad for me, but I'm so happy he's at the theater.
Yeah, that's why theaters are always haunted. Maybe we will run into him doing a show.
Theaters and churches, my favorite type of architecture. They're the same thing.
Yes. All right, my friend, pauljacek.com, JACEK.
That's it.
Thank you, my friend. We will see you. We'll talk to you, if not before New Year's, for the next predictions.
Indeed, but call me if you need me.
You got it, hon. Back again. Diane, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Okay. You've been so patient with me. I have been all over the map and I have not been able to nail this down. So let's do it.
No, that's okay.
Okay. Tell everyone where to find you.
Okay, so it's all pretty much the same. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube is all esoteric explorers. Instagram's like esoteric_explorers. I also do like massage and energy work, and you can just message me on Instagram, and that's in SoCal, San Diego, Los Angeles.
And
Orange
she's
County area.
great at it. You're great at
Thank
it.
you.
And also I love the downloads that you and the information that you get that you share on TikTok.
Yes, I know. And that's what I wanted to share, download today too with everybody.
All right, great. I will start the timer. Hit it. Tell us what you got.
Okay, so what they told me is that right now we're changing levels. We're like upgrade. They literally said we're like growing right now.
Mm-hmm.
But so we know it's time to move on to like bigger, better challenges for ourselves. But when we get to that new level, like some of us don't like the newness, like the feeling that brings, or like a little bit of the challenges that brings. We miss the comfort and like routine that we were used to.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of us leave and step back. And what they showed me was that like we were in a dark room. And that we finally realized like, oh, there's a door out of here. So we open the door and we go outside, and it's like bright and colors and super bright. And we're like, oh my God, like this is all new. It's too bright. It's too loud. So some of us don't like it. So we step back into that dark room, even though we're supposed to be moving forward. But like, don't think of it as like, oh my God, I messed up. I should have just stayed outside. Like, it's okay. We left the door open. We just need to take time to like, clear our emotions, get our mental state where we need to. And when that chance comes back around, it's going to come back around. And just now we know, hey, we need to take it this time. No more stepping back, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And so honestly, that's manifesting too a lot in, relationships. You can see it like, it's time to leave, but we go back. Or even in jobs, like a lot of us have gotten better jobs. It's time to leave. But it might be a little bit hard. So like, you know what, I'm just going to go back to my old job, even though, like you're missing an opportunity. You're sending yourself back there.
This is the second chance and there's no third coming, right?
I wouldn't say there's not. But now like we're aware that like, hey, that was our chance. We took a step back and that's fine. But next time, like, prepare yourself. Like you can do this. We can do this,
Excellent.
So, yeah, so that's what I got for that. And then let me see. So yeah, they were saying to help with that is like to try healing emotionally or mentally. There's so many different ways, but they're saying also like declutter. So like, declutter everything, especially your home, your car. I'm so bad with my car too, but they're like, if you declutter, if your house or your space is cluttered, that means your emotional body and your mental state is cluttered.
That's so funny because I live in a furnished place and I moved all the furniture out of the living room. I was like, I can't have any more furniture in here.
No, that's good. So that's you like naturally like, oh, I need to get rid of this. And so that means like your body and your mental state and your emotions are clear too. Like it goes hand in hand. So yeah, it's good to do that right now if you can.
Good. You're affirming a lot of things I need to hear. So keep going.
Okay, good. Okay, so then I wanted to share the channel now. It's kind of long, but not too bad. And I on my Instagram and TikTok, like I go over it because it's a lot, but I could do that later. But I'm just gonna say it all right now.
Okay.
So this is here it goes. It says, I am here to serve you always. Step forth into thyself and be known unto others. Bring forth consciousness and commandment. To be selfless and willing to serve others. And as thyself steps forth, meetings are important. Supposed freedom is forthwith coming. Pretension of use known through selflessness. Be wary of kindness unto others, willing to sacrifice their well-being for yours.
Yes. Okay, keep going.
I'm gonna
make a note and tell you about that. Okay.
Okay. Truly appreciate yourself now and forever. Forgive yourself. Be forgiven. Step forward. Maintain consciousness. Come into yours. What is not self-being is not yours to awaken. Step, move around your life. Come see me forward now. And take heed. Yours is the power to share and supply with love and knowledge. To bring us into a new age of wealth and spirit. Henceforth, be known as yourself. Healing and temptation is not to push you away from yourself because you are great. Stand amongst us, behind a new world of community and selfless knowledge of stars and function. Be known to yourself, a messenger of knowledge and wisdom passed down. Take it, use it to move forward in this life given to you. Please take care of your life, proves or provides your light and darkness propel your function into being current. Stay awake and stay known. Listen, prove, care not what others say, for you are here to challenge their propriety. Forthwith censor not your words and spirit. You are known, you are lauded, you are free. You can make mistakes, you can see the world. You are known to be essence entirely, stationary, sweeping comfort and constrain away, to be held in place so that you may move amongst yourselves as equals, as you have always been. No one is greater than the other. Stay tuned, stay processing, stay alive. Bend, progress to your will, and forge mainly towards functionality of willingness in life. Stay alert, pay attention to the signs given to you always daily. Follow them. Be it insignificant in nature, it has meaning. You need to recognize it when it comes. Take care. Good night. So yeah, sorry, kind of long. But.
No, that was fantastic. And you're right on time. And it was so good. And I'm going to tell you, in the closing, I'm going to talk about dizzy spells and something that has happened that is part of the upgrade.
Uh-huh.
And it happened today. And someone said, not beware, like danger, but they were like, be wary of the sad victim.
Yeah.
That as if to say the people making that choice right now, because I have two around me that I want to help, and it's like, no. That can be more of a danger than a dangerous person.
Yes. Yeah. No, that makes sense for sure. And they do say that in the I just said it right now. What did it say? Be careful of people sacrificing their selves for you or something.
It's like I said, hole, that you get dragged into.
Yeah, it's a lot. So I, on my Instagram, my TikTok, my YouTube, I go into this and like I break it down and like explain it, but that would take a long time here, Okay. So I just wanted to get the main message out.
No, that was great. You still have like 3 minutes left, but that's the main message. Do you have any advice or anything you see for what is coming up now to the end of the year? Because 2022 is going to be tricky.
Yeah, no, that was basically it. And then the same thing about, the upgrading and growing. For a lot of us who did, and I am one of those people who I think took that step back, instead of moving forward when given the chance. And like we can get into that thing where like you make yourself feel so bad, like, oh, why did I do that? Like, why did I make that choice? Like, it's okay. Don't feel so bad. Just think of it like, I'm taking a step back to see where I'm going and to prepare myself. And that just means that we needed more time, that we needed extra time to heal ourselves. And that's what we did right now. To integrate. Yeah. And that's not easy. That takes time. Like there's a lot for it. There's a lot of healing for it. We need to be drinking water more. We need to, try exercising more. Like there's so much stuff to be healing, to get us ready and to be in that proper spot. So that's what I'll say. Don't feel so bad about it. Just continue working on yourself. And when it comes around again, then you'll know how to make the proper choice. And then you'll know, I'm ready for this. We're ready for this.
Yes. I love that. And there's another movement here. Like I would say I definitely made the movement forward. I moved where I was supposed to, and I made the movement forward.
That's great.
But I have to be open to see what that movement has to give me, because I don't want to be here. I feel the resentment, but that's because I'm not open to what it has, and it keeps showing me. In fact, for people that are listening about my new Patreon and the new idea, you'll know what it has shown me. So, fantastic, darling. Yeah. Tell everybody again where to find you, and thank you for your patience with me.
No, oh my God, I can never you have all my patience. You're the best person ever, I swear.
No, but thank you. I'll take it today.
Yeah. Okay, so it's Esoteric Explorers. That's pretty much it. You'll find me.
Awesome. All right, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, everybody. Renee Watt is here. And you were fantastic on my Patreon first. I want to say everybody loved you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. I love doing stuff like that.
You have
I just love talking to you and talking about magical stuff.
I know, and you have such a great I will say this, I feel like you are definitely not a go with the crowd person, which is why I like you. You go with what you feel. So that's why I think you're great. Okay. And
that's why I think you're great too. So
we're just little rebels, big rebels.
Yes.
And folks, we're going to have Renee. Renee and I are trying to figure out a time to get her on this regular podcast in the next week. I think July. We're going to have her July or August, so she'll be back for a full hour. Also, she and I are taping this May 20th, and this is coming out July 1st. So if there's any lap over or anything, that's what happened. But all right, my dear, I will start the timer and just bring us your wisdom.
Perfect. So, I mean, one of the things that I really want to talk about is in May, we had Jupiter, which is the planet of luck and expansion, enter Aries. And so basically, I think this is just a really important planet to follow on a personal level because this is going to rule where you're having luck at any given time. And so what you want to do, if you're familiar with your chart at all, is just look at which house is ruled by Jupiter. And if you have any planets under Aries in your natal chart, because this is how you're going to be able to make the most out of this energy, because it's going to help you say, okay, I'm having luck in my career, for instance, so I'm going to take more chances at work and I'm going to put my focus there.
Okay, or that's Jupiter in your birth chart, right?
Yeah, so okay. whichever house is ruled by Aries in your natal chart. So my third house is ruled by Aries, so my voice is probably going to travel pretty far during this period because your third house rules communication. But someone who had, Jupiter in their seventh house that was looking to find love, you might meet a soulmate. In your 10th house, it's career. So, if you aren't super familiar with astrology, you might have to do a tiny bit of research. But the main thing you need to know is which house is ruled by Aries. And if you have any planets in Aries, that's where you're going to have luck.
Okay.
So that is happening from now until October 27th. So it's a big window of really good energy that you can work with to seize opportunities, to create new opportunities. And because Jupiter is in Aries, this is all stuff that's going to be new because Aries is the first sign in the zodiac. So when we have Aries energy active, it's about what you're starting now, what is fresh, and not necessarily projects that have been existing in the past, unless you maybe do like a rebrand or revamp it. But you have to approach all of your goals with sort of fresh eyes right now because that's what the universe is valuing.
Boy, does that make sense. That just that's everything I just started, and I'm starting. We were talking about if you don't have that go get them energy, you don't do it. I don't want to take up your time. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, perfect. And that's actually a really good way to put it too, like that go get it type of energy, because that really is, a big part of what Aries embodies. And if you're not feeling super excited about something, it might just be that you need to be keeping your eyes open for new opportunities. It might not be something that's in your pocket just yet.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to have, beginning on July 28th, Jupiter is going to be going retrograde. And that doesn't mean your luck is going away. Because Jupiter is such an auspicious planet, retrogrades with Jupiter aren't necessarily going to affect us the same way that a Mercurial retrograde might, because Jupiter is just always looking to make things better.
Oh.
Yeah. You might just notice when Jupiter is going retrograde, this might just be when it's time to rein it in, when it's time to pull in the projects, when it's time to pull in those opportunities. That's if you're fishing, between now and July 28th, you're fishing. July 28th and onward is when you reel it in.
Ah, okay. All right. I think I get that. I think I understand that. Okay, good.
Perfect. So Jupiter is going to be retrograde. And then it's going to, on October 27th, it's going to move backwards into Pisces. So the retrograde is taking it.
Listen, the fire department is agreeing with your assessment.
So there's a beautiful synchronicity in that, because I was just going to talk about how we may be seeing more stuff going on with COVID-19. And so what my opinion kind of is, when we're looking at Jupiter and Pisces rules airborne diseases. And so I would just be kind of, curious to see how Jupiter going back into Pisces is going to affect our COVID-19 response. I don't know if it's, it could be a combination of outbreaks and boosts, which I think we're all sort of coming to terms with the fact that like it's going to be around longer than we thought, and we'll probably all get it. And we're already seeing, top official, and I don't want to politicize this at all. I'm just kind of relaying what we know is in the news. We're seeing people saying like, oh, our vaccines aren't good enough because we're getting outfoxed by the virus, basically. And so I think when we have Jupiter re-entering Pisces, we're going to kind of be peeling back more layers of what our new normal looks like, because we're kind of going back into this energy. We're revisiting our response. We may be getting new vaccines coming out then, things like that. No matter what your view is on the vaccines or what, that's just what I think we're going to see.
Right. Yeah. And my people can say whatever they want. If you're on my show, you can say whatever you want. That's interesting. Airborne disease. The first thing I thought was masks. Like Jupiter was or Pisces is in charge of masks. That's what I thought.
Yeah. Well, what's funny too is I'm wondering about the mask mandates going back up sometime in June. And I know we're talking about July, but the reason I bring up June 4th is when Saturn goes retrograde. And Saturn, I know I feel like I've talked about Saturn with you before, because it's just such an important thing to look at, because it rules our structures, it rules authority, it rules the government, basically the rules that like hold society together. And so on June 4th, we're seeing it move backwards. And because Saturn is super restrictive, I wonder, are we going to have masks come back up? Because they are restrictive. Yeah. Masks are restrictive, whether or not you need them. There's a restrictive energy about them. So I wonder about masks coming up around June 4th or sometime after that. But the big thing is, we've been seeing a lot of political stuff. It's like we're moving backwards, right? We're trying to overturn Roe versus Wade. We're back at it with Russia since the Cold War. Like things that we thought we'd kind of put to bed politically and as a society are starting to kind of digress and move backwards. And I think once June 4th hits, we're really going to start seeing all of these things that have been floating in the air kind of being implemented. So a ruling on the overthrowing of Roe versus Wade. And I'm not saying June 4th specifically, because the retrograde will last a few months, but I think it's going to be the catalyst of us sort of seeing like, where are these chips going to fall?
Yes, I think we have. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting summer, isn't it?
I think we're going to have supply chain issues again. I think that there will potentially be infrastructure issues. That would be more on a local scale. But I think that the government's going to have a really hard time holding things together on a local and on a grander scale.
Yeah, I think people are poised for a revolution, and I don't think that's about COVID. I think that's about other stuff.
Yes, and I think it's going to happen the first week of October.
Oh, okay. I'll get my outfit, my bulletproof vests and stuff.
Yes. So the first week of October, it could be a little bit building up to that, but really the energy here is the strongest the first week of October. And this is when Uranus, which is like the revolutionary planet, the planet that's like, like we're not going to take it anymore type of planet. That is going to be forming a square to Saturn, and Uranus will also be retrograde. So both planets will be retrograde. They're forming a square, which is basically like they're fighting. And so I feel like we're going to see a huge increase in protests, people backing up their words with actions, activists sort of trying to, activists have kind of been conditioned to protest and write letters to Congress and make donations. And I just feel like we're on the cusp of a shift in how activism is approached. And
you could say it. I think there's going to be a lot more violence.
I think there's going to be more violence too. I do think that there's going to, and you know what? That's the other thing with Jupiter and Aries. Aries is like the warrior of the signs.
Mm-hmm.
Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is the most aggressive planet. It is the, it is the god of war. And so when we're looking at Aries energy or Scorpio energy, because those are the two signs that are ruled by Mars, it's very primal. And, we're going to be having another Scorpio eclipse I think in November or late October, which is going to totally shake things up. I mean, we just had eclipses that we were talking about before we got on the phone, and we're like, God, the energy is just so intense. And Scorpio energy is the most intense energy in the zodiac. Everyone has a thing, and Scorpio is the most intense, but it's also death and destruction. So there's going to be a lot of clearing energy, and I'm just kind of interested to see where it goes. It's scary because we have a lot of change that is being called for astrologically, energetically, but we also, that fight for change is bringing out some serious oppression.
Mm-hmm.
And so that catalyst is going to come around at some point.
Yeah, and I'm going to add another minute to yours. I'm going to let you go another minute. Like my rules aren't that strict. But it's funny because the October is sort of starting. November is starting to look like what right before March of 2019 or 2020, when everybody was like, yeah, something's going to happen. And everybody, I even hear your voice slow down, like you don't want to go run for cover, but something's going to happen. And I think it's everybody's kind of feeling that, but you got plenty of notice, and you have to know that I believe everyone I was talking to some people didn't know pandemic, some got pandemic, but we all knew. So get ready, folks.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Gosh, yeah. Okay. All right. So, just anything for the end of the year, or a tip for people, or anything?
Yeah. I mean, even when I kind of talked about how when Aries goes back into Pisces, around October 27th, it won't last in there for super long. It will go back into Aries. But again, like, you just kind of want to use that time to nurture any Pisces energy in your chart. But expect things to get a little intense emotionally, is what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Towards the end of the year, I think there's going to just be a lot of physical exhaustion, mental exhaustion, emotional exhaustion. And so I think that the main thing is just to, take more time out for solitude, and get out in nature more, and have days where you're doing a phone purge. Like, Saturday, I'm turning off my phone for 24 hours. I think you're even like, do you want to talk on Saturday? And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not talking to you on Saturday.
Well,
so I think
good for you.
I think it sometimes you just need to just shut it all down. I'm gonna let my boyfriend know I won't be reachable. That's it.
There you go. All right. Thank you, Renee. Tell everyone where to find you, where to listen to you. Give everybody all the stuff, where to book a reading.
Yeah. So my website has a lot of information on how to book with me, what kind of readings I do, rainbowglitterstar.com. And then on social media, I'm most active on @rainbowglitterstar, and I promote, all the different astrology articles. I'm churning out a ton of astrology content every week and every month. So that's where you can follow my horoscopes and things like that.
Awesome. And as I keep saying for everyone, make sure you're following Rainbow Glitter Star and not Rainbow Glitter Star. That's a duplicate or all that garbage.
Yeah, I've just gotten to a point where I don't even fight the impersonators anymore. Like, I'll report them, and then nothing happens.
It's happening. Started happening on TikTok too, and it's just but folks, remember, any good reader is not going to contact you, or if they do for some reason, they're going to give you their website. They're not going to take money for Instagram. So, all right. Thank you, my friend. Folks, Renee will be back soon. So,
yes, I can't wait.
Awesome. Shanna, like banana. I love that. Thank you for giving me that rhyme because it really does help me. How are you, my darling?
I'm so good. Thank you for having me again, Karen.
You know, I'm close to you now, so we do have to make an effort to hang out, especially if I'm working down in Pennsylvania.
Oh my goodness. We are going to have the most fun. I can't wait.
I know. Okay, so start out. Where can people find you?
Yes, you can find me on blackboots.com, and I spell that without any vowels. So that's BTS.com.
Oops.
And you can also find me on all the socials there too.
Okay, and it went out for a second, so I'm just going to reiterate. It's Black Boots with no vowels, which I love. BLKBTS, correct?
BLCKBTS.
Yes, I forgot the C because I can't spell. Okay, and if your phone breaks up, I'll just pause it and we'll jump from there. So, all right, darling, I will hit the timer. Tell us what you see for the next 6 months. This will be airing July 1st. Here you go. Okay.
Sounds good. So I pulled 3 cards for today, and I got the Fool, the King of Pentacles, and the King of Cups.
Wow.
Now, the Fool we know is sensitivity, spirituality, and it's like literally where we've been foolish.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got these 2 kings. We've got the King of Pentacles, which is increased good and evil. And the King of Cups is more about violence, water, power. So very, very fitting for everything we already know about what's going on.
Absolutely.
Now, when I tapped in, the biggest thing I saw was the way that art will be used in the protests that are coming. I believe that there's going to be like literal reenactments of some of this violence that we're seeing in public spaces. But it's going to be all about the art movement. It's going to be all about really tapping into the collective and getting those visceral reactions, those palpable feelings, those very physical manifestations of what is going on and how we're feeling. It's really about forcing people to look. And I think that these protests are just going to make pretty escalated.
Okay.
And also, it's a little unnerving. However, we got to do this, right? Like this stuff has got to end. I'm a little bit hesitant to say that I'm worried the way that animals, specifically horses, will be used by some of the far right in some of these protests, and just like the way that they kind of want to present themselves and use that energy. And I wonder if this has anything to do with the way that roads may be shut down, navigation may be compromised, something having to do with the way that we move between different cities, towns, the way that we get here and there.
Okay, I'm gonna a question real quick. So when you say like art at the protests, it's like really, like you said, it's about us seeing this is really the issue, or this is really what it looks like. When you said horses, I immediately thought of police on horseback.
Yeah, I wonder if that's part of it too, but I think it's going to go a little bit further. I think it's going to be like in rural places, like, more of one side kind of using that as ways to get from here to there.
Okay.
Because I wonder if, I'm just kind of, it's something to do with, we know the gas is going up. That's crazy, right? But it's something to do with just how we're physically getting from one place to another.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, that feels compromised.
Okay, and that actually sounds very interesting in it's so funny. Your phone crinkles out just enough, but not enough that I can stop. That I'm like, we're still in. So they might force people, instead of a lockdown, they might force people to stay where they are that way.
Yeah. And something, I wonder if like Google Maps, I don't know. I have no idea how technology works in that way, but like Google Maps will kind of cut out or something with like the navigation and how we're actually like getting the information on how to get from place to place.
Wow. Okay. That's like the grid going down.
Yeah. And okay. I also think it has a lot to do with the way that we're actually living. If there's going to be more emphasis on communal living, more emphasis on really, really having to come together because we literally have no other choice at this point.
Mm-hmm.
There's this undercurrent of like the witches and the grid workers and the psychics all kind of rising. And even I'm seeing this in my own community, the way that they're like more respected and celebrated, the way that they're kind of coming out of the woodwork, quote unquote,
mm-hmm.
and really like getting out there and really like voicing and having more. I'm even like, I could see like dinners happening kind of around magic and around this like coming together, this communal living, this way of, navigating everything that's kind of going on right now.
And collective energy of the collective.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm also seeing the color yellow a lot, which I don't know exactly where that plays in, but I'm just going to kind of throw it in. You can stick it in your back pocket, and however like the color yellow kind of plays out. That's just something visual to kind of watch for.
I'm going to tell you something interesting about that when you're done. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Because these Kings of Pentacles, these Kings of Cups, they're not going down quietly. Like this is a fight. I fear specifically for some of the masculine that are speaking up right now, like Beta O'Rourke, how he's speaking out. I kind of fear for him a bit, but at the same time, I know that we need people like him to just kind of shake things out. So the way I'm kind of seeing it is really so much challenge, so much strife. But again, with all of that happening, there's also just this other side of it, this way to kind of like step into this beautiful place of, yes, we're feeling into this art and we're making it about what's happening, but we're creating these beautiful works that are really, going to really shake up the emotions of everyone around us, but also just like creating beauty and finding ways to connect with the art, with the way that, people are expressing, the way that they're tapping in.
Okay, so I can't even express this. I just had a conversation with Amy that she just had such an experience with art, like it's crazy. And I have always said artists are going to be the 3D printers of our time. But what's even more interesting is that we know art heals, but maybe it's going to be that next dimension of it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely there's something in the performance of it. I'm seeing it kind of like on, in the yards, like outside the homes of these political leaders that are just causing more hate than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really seeing it happening. I'm just seeing like, you can't not be affected by this anymore. There's just no way.
Yeah.
So I'm really seeing it just kind of pouring out in the art, in the way that people are protesting specifically.
That is interesting because also with people trying to be silenced, I'm so with you the way the hate is going, but I love this angle. Okay, go ahead. 3 minutes. Keep going. I love this.
Yeah, so I'm really interested in the way that those of us, that are kind of working in this environment and working on kind of the rebuilds sort of side of it, because I really do believe that everything is crashing and rebuilding sort of at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really interested in watching the way that they connect with others, seeing this visual of a dinner, and if there's these certain people in your community, maybe you don't even know exactly what they do, but you just sit down and you're just breaking bread together, having dinner together and having these conversations. And just what happens when a lot of those type of people that are connected, like what happens when they're literally in the same space together, just kind of watching and like seeing like what they can influence within, their own community, like within their own, small towns or cities, wherever they are, like just seeing what that influence of them coming together and them really just having those conversations and having those moments and like finding all those connection points to then kind of like let it spread out.
I swear to God, you're just saying what Amy and I just talked about. I swear to God, it's like, in fact, wait till you hear my predictions at the end. You and I are so on topic. Okay, keep going.
Well, I mean, we're now close to we're in the same state now. So
I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's pretty incredible. And just in this part of the country, I was just down in Philadelphia, and to feel the difference between different locations is interesting right now. And just the way that people kind of interact when they get out of what they're used to. Mm-hmm. So with this kind of moving around with, whether it's, people traveling to kind of get to other places, to experience other places, or if people are going to other places for these protests, like how all of our energy is affected by these changes and how we all kind of integrate it. And then what it's kind of like bringing up, like what it's like, how is it coming out into the world? Like, what does it look like physically? Or is it, is it song? Is it the art again? What kind of art are you making? What are you putting out there? It's being really, I think that we're going to really be called to be very intentional about the way that we use our energy and about the way, and just having that awareness around what our energy does when it's in different spaces and how we can really affect it.
And what our frequency is. That makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. Okay. So hold on. My timer is off. Anything you want to throw in at the last second?
No, I think that's it. I think that's about it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so here's what's very interesting. And I don't know if Angela Lovell is before you or after you. I think she's before, but when I send it to my producer, I send him all the 10-minute stuff, and he puts that in order, and then I have my beginning and end. So you said yellow. She was talking about orange. In case she's after you, she very specifically was also talking about a color. And on all the years I've done this, no one's ever done it. And then both of you did it together.
There's something there, and I can't quite see it. But I mean, yellow and orange are very similar colors, so I'm not surprised that it's, that we're seeing that. But it's almost like it's like something to just kind of keep your eye out for.
Also, your kings like the patriarchy. I swear it's Biden and Trump. I mean, but I feel like as the example, like you're saying, the polarization, there's your polars, there's your kings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So great.
It's wild. Yeah. It's wild. It's wild when the kings come out together.
Yeah.
That I always pay attention to that for sure.
Yes. And Oh, thank you so much. Okay. Tell everyone again where they can find you.
Yep. So I'm Shanna Warwick, and you can find me at blackboots.com. And I spell that without any vowels. So it's BLCKBTS.com, and on all the socials under the same.
And sign up for her email list, because you make the most beautiful things.
Oh, thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. Please sign up for my email.
Yes.
First of all, thanks to everybody that put their time in for this predictions podcast. And I apologize if there's anyone that didn't make it that usually does. This one is really a hard one to put together, and it takes a long time trying to get everybody, and then trying to get 10-minute tapes to my producer to fix them all and make them all match. But either way, thank you to everybody. I had done my predictions and put up my closing earlier, and I just pulled it because it is the end of June and the world has gone crazy, and I don't think I had anything political in there, but I just wanted to add this part in. I try to let my guests just be who they are and say what they believe. I have an episode coming up with Christopher Macklin where he hits quite a few topics that might upset some of you guys. Just keep going, or, maybe the next podcast. I don't want to trigger anybody. I kind of feel like this should be a safe space where you can turn off politics or all that stuff for an hour. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes that's my fault, but I want to try, because I just feel like social media now is just insane. There's just so much hate. I can't, my stomach is getting upset. So hopefully this will be a place where we can kind of just, y'all know I have my beliefs, and you'll probably see them on Instagram or Twitter, but I kind of want to try and keep the podcast a safe place to turn everything else off. I do feel like, I hope, don't hate your neighbor. That's really my only message. There's some really good people that just believe differently than we do. And then there's people that are causing problems, and try and just be nice. How's that for a terrible bumper sticker? Karen goes out on a limb with an opinion saying, be nice. Okay, so here's the only predictions that I can remember, because I got rid of my list after I thought I had taped this whole thing. And I don't know, I just felt like this week I wanted to come on and hope that people don't get triggered, or I don't know, I wanted to be calm. I want people to get along. I don't feel like we can solve this problem from the same frequency that it's been caused. But I'm a third party person, so I'm the one everyone can't stand. I'd say peaceful revolution. So anyways, I did have a prediction about a lot of hurricanes. I think hurricane season's coming. I think it's a big deal. And I think I heard an economist say something, and I thought it was so simple and brilliant. Not fear mongering, because a lot of people, or not going against my abundance manifestation, but someone was saying how your deodorant is $4 now. In a couple of months, it's going to be $15. So buy 3 of them now. I think that's pretty smart. And I've noticed the places I'm shopping are putting out bulk items for you to buy. I just bought 3 gallons of olive oil for $20. How can you beat that? How can you say no to that? And the tin is really cool. So I think that is a good way to sort of secure your manifestation or abundance, is by just being smart, going, yep, let's save ourselves another trip to the store, not hoarding, not buying 100, 3 or 4. That's, I think, a good tip. I think my other prediction was that a Delta Airlines flight will be on time. I know that's going out on a limb again. Karen, you know, they'll never be on time. No, I think one is going to be on time. Everybody, those are my predictions, because I lost my other ones. But also, please join my Patreon. It is $5 for extra Paranormal Karen episodes if you're not into the tarot and the psychic stuff. I'm going to be doing 1 to 2. I probably said this already. I'm going to be doing 1 to 2 a month, and try and keep it interesting. Try and give you some extra content about the craziness of Utica. And I'm also trying to slow down how much work I'm doing and sort of expand my income a different way. So that's going to be a way to help me out. So I'm not working morning, noon, and night, which I am now. But that's it, everybody. It's going to be a rough year. So take care of yourself. Spread love more than hate wherever you can. And let's try and understand each other. Okay, everybody. Thank you for listening.
Paranormal Karen, she's a spooky kind of queen. Paranormal Karen, she's an angel without wings. Comedian, ghost hunter, conscious exploring. She's a funny gal.